Hey, it's Aaron. Today let's talk about the 2025 Lexus GX. So the GX was completely redone last year in 2024 and carries over this year without very much change. Hey, what's the difference between a hippo and a zippo? One's heavy, the other's a little lighter. The GX is basically the Land Cruiser for Lexus. And in my mind, I like it better than the regular Toyota Land Cruiser, mostly because it feels like it fits this market. It's very luxurious on the inside. It's very nice. Lexus has come a long way with how they've evolved their interiors. And then it retains like real off-road capability, especially in the Overtrail model, but is still a luxury ride. There are some downsides to this thing. Fuel economy is terrible. There's hard, like the third row seat is not good, and then like all of the Land Cruiser based models that came before it, the third row hogs up a bunch of cargo space unnecessarily. And then it's a Lexus, so it is going to, by default, kind of go a little overboard with the safety and driver assistance equipment. Lexus has gotten a lot better about like their adaptive cruise, so that radar cruise control doesn't abrupt and junk. It doesn't pull you around like it used to. It's much smoother, but there's still a lot of just things that go off because something may or may not be somewhere near where you are. That's a little bit annoying, but a lot of that stuff can be tuned. So if you spend the time in the infotainment working on those, you might be able to tune some of those down, but that is an annoyance in a Lexus. Otherwise, though, that's all the complaints I've got. Everything about this is really nice. It's a very, very nice vehicle to drive. It feels really good as a big SUV. So you do have to remember it is a big SUV. That means it is not horribly maneuverable compared to a smaller car, and so on and so forth. If you know what to expect with a big SUV, then you'll have it here. So the GX's powertrain is full-time four-wheel drive, which means fuel economy is not good. You're mostly going to be in the teens. EPA says 17 miles to gallon is the combined fuel economy. That's assuming you can get over 20, you can get to 21 miles per gallon on the highway. I was never able to do that. So I would take the EPA numbers with a pretty decent amount of salt mixed onto them, right? You'll be in the teens most of the time. You're going to be somewhere between 12 and maybe 15 to 17 miles to gallon most of the time you're driving this thing. So some of the reason that it's still, that those numbers are still better than the previous generation is because things changed underneath the hood. So the new GX, just like the Toyota Land Cruiser, now uses a turbocharged 3.4 liter V6. That produces 349 horsepower and a boat ton of torque, about 479 pound-feet, I think is the number. That's the only engine you can get with this. It's a 10-speed automatic transmission, another big change that also improved fuel economy. And then, like I said, it's still full-time four-wheel drive in every single one of these. So you can still shift it into low and all of that stuff, but four high is on no matter what. There is no clutch to disconnect the front or rear axle. So yeah, and then it starts out with a lot of equipment. 20-inch wheels are standard on this. Third row seating is standard. Household outlet is standard. 10-speaker audio is standard. It's a good audio system even at the base level. A big infotainment screen, which I think is about 14 inches. Lots of really good stuff are just included in this. Some of that is because of the price. So starting price for this is $65,000. So this is a little better equipped and a lot nicer inside for about only $5,000 more than the base level Toyota Land Cruiser. This has been an issue between these two models for a long time. They're always very, very close to each other, with a lot of people that buy the Land Cruiser buying it purely because it says Land Cruiser and for no other reason. Now, most people buying a GX are not going to be buying a $65,000 one. Most are going to be somewhere in the probably $70,000 to $72,000. So the premium model is $69,750, and the Overtrail that I drove is $72,930. But you can also get an Overtrail Plus, which is the luxury plus model with the Overtrail off-road stuff. Actually, it's the luxury model with the Overtrail Plus stuff. And that'll run you around $80,000. So the vehicle that I drove with delivery and everything else was about $84,000. And that's with pretty much everything you can get on the vehicle. But it's really nice. Very, very nice. And that is price commensurate with everything else that is in the same category. It's actually slightly cheaper than a lot of options in this category. So really, really cool. I really like the GX. I think that Lexus did a beautiful job with this, and I think that this generation is better than the last, and the last was really good anyway. So there you go. That's my assessment of the 2025 Lexus GX. Talk to you again soon.